Hey guys, so I just installed this TopDisplay Chrysler 200 unit. It's an Android unit from TopDisplay, selling on Amazon and I believe their website as well. The installation process is pretty simple. The hardest part of the process is probably taking this and changing out the vents as well as the hazards, which is one of the first steps you should probably be aware of when you're doing this. The process isn't difficult, at least the removal process. So my old radio, you can see here, is just the standard 5-inch radio that Chrysler's came with 2016, I believe. 2015, 2016, I don't know if 2017, but yeah, so pretty much thought it was a good idea to change this out for the Android unit. As you can see in this image, these are the vents. So this is what you'll see. They also mention these little pins here that you'll see in this one here. These little gray pins, you have to remove these from the old one and put that on your new plate. This is the old one. So pretty much all you're gonna do is when you're taking this out, you're gonna remove it from this side, and they give you a tool for it. So try to pull it out from the top, maybe pull it out with the tool. I mean, there's videos of this as well. And when you take that out, you're going to remove the wiring. So as you can see here, there's the power cable, the USB, as well as that that white port. The yellow port's pretty much redundant. Don't worry about that when you're doing the installation. Kind of just stick that in the back because it's in your radio system, but it's not going to have any impact when you're actually putting it on the Android. When you're putting the cords on the Android unit, it's not going to go anywhere, so don't worry about it. Just focus on the 3 of the USB, I think 4-pin USB. That's all going to connect to your Android unit, and that is also shown here. So the process is pretty smooth. You're going to remove those, and TopDisplay is going to give you cords that connect electronically this way. As you can see, they house literally perfectly in their slots, so it's not really difficult for anyone who does it. They'll give you the 4-pin USB cable, which is that. They'll give you the backup camera cable, which that will also be housed in the electronics area, as well as the RCA line, which isn't really important for at least the Chrysler 200. And then you'll have this power cable, which will connect to the power slot right there, the black, and it will also connect to the white area. There'll be a place for that as well. And that will also include the canvas. Don't touch that, just leave it as it is. Pretty much for the backup camera is going to connect into the electronics area, and then that is going to then be connected to the camera cable that's connected to the power cable. So you're just going to connect that cable, the in and the out, to each other, and you should have backup camera support for your car without having to actually change the backup camera, which they do offer, but it's a lot more work. As for the GPS, they have GPS, as well as they have the 4G LTE, I believe, cord as well, which connects similarly. As you can see here, they connect in the same way with the same type of cable, and those units, I believe they have like a sticky thing to it, which you can just literally stick to the top inside of your car, so it gets that you don't have to let it be outside of your car, just let it stick maybe on the top of the inside. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the installation part. The most difficult part will probably be, like I said, the part where you're actually removing everything from the old head unit base, which is just these screws here, as well as the hazard screws right here. So it's like a weird screw. It's like I forgot what it's called. It's like 8 point, I don't know how many, but yeah, so you might need to look into that if you have it, or if you don't have it, you might need to buy one of those, but it's not anything crazy. And then just again, remember that you need to take these off and put them on the new one. So once you take off the vents as well as the hazards, you're going to put that on the new unit first, and then you can start the installation process. And then once you kind of do that, it's pretty much smooth sailing, and then you're going to end up with something like this. And yeah, so that's kind of where things kind of get easy. So the process is pretty simple once you get to this part. As I said, you're going to pull this out. When you do, you'll have your old unit, which will have these connections connected to it. With that old unit, as you see here, you have the power, you have the 4-pin USB, and then you have these connectors. The yellow is pretty much redundant, just remember that. So when you do remove that, just stuff it back in the back of the unit. These are the things that matter most. So from there, these connections, so you'll have them here, and they're all there. The power cable connector with the protocol box, which is the canvas, the radio, as well as the reverse camera line, and the 4-pin USB. 6-pin does not matter, leave that unless you want to add that as a USB, but I don't think you need that. And then you have the backup camera reverse connector. That is all connected here, with the exception of the power. The power is also connected here. So you'll connect the power cable, and that will also be connected here. And then you have your reverse camera, and then you have the cables that are behind. Hard to get into there, but these two lines as well, which are the 4-pin USB and the where's the other cable? Maybe that's also the power. But yeah, so you'll have all these cables given to you here. And I don't believe you need the RCA. But yeah. So you'll get also the radio as well as the radio and the GPS, which are listed on the unit. So that's 4G right here, and then the GPS you can see right there is right there. And then this is the connector for, I think that the 4G USB. Yes. Yeah, so that's connected here. So, or the 4-pin USB is connected here, I believe. Yeah, I mean, honestly, every cord connects where it should connect, meaning it fits perfectly in its spot. There's no other spot for it to fit when you do these connections. So it's not something it's going to be very difficult to do. Also remember, you're going to connect the yellow cord from the power right here to the reverse camera that's plugged into the electrical socket. And then, yeah, those will be connected from the power there. So you'll get the reverse camera, canvas, everything else. Power connects here from the inside. And obviously, I mentioned earlier these cables. So this is the power cable, which is right here. The 4-pin USB, and then the extra, I believe, I don't know where that connects exactly to, but that's going to connect also. Where's that at? Yeah, that connects also to something on the power right here, the white. As for the yellow, I mentioned already, right here, just stuff that in the back. For the 4G, it has like a little plate thing, which I just put up here. You can just add that to the top of your unit. And then the GPS, I just stuffed wherever, it's just right here. You can just stuff that inside. The GPS, it's fine. You don't really need to put that anywhere, I don't think. I mean, if you want to, you can probably stick it somewhere, but I will say that you could also, this This is the SIM card tray. SIM card can be pushed somewhere over here, just so it's easily accessible. And that's pretty much it. After you put these onto the new head unit base, once you put those onto the new head unit base and you stick the hazard light as well onto the base, then you can do this process, which is just removing the old head unit, placing these things on the new one, and then removing all the cables, which is it's very easy getting these off this thing. There's just like a little thing that you pull off here. You're just going to pull that up, it's going to come off, then you're going to plug that onto the power cable, which is connected here as well as here. Yeah, so very simple, not too much. Everything's kind of listed for you. I wouldn't stress about it. Everything sits in a place it should perfectly sit. They to make it as easy as possible. This is, you see, it has right there. It's perfect for that spot. This is perfect for this spot right here. The 4-pin and everything else is also perfect for their spot. It's very, very easy. So I wouldn't stress too much about this part of it. Just make sure, the most important part will probably be just making sure you follows the steps of making sure you put the previous vents from the old unit onto this one, and then and also the clamps and everything else. But yeah, very simple. And after this, I will get into the part of software with CarPlay and other things. But yeah, I'm just gonna stuff everything back in. This is just gonna pretty much go right back in, which shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, as for the software side, there's the actual unit thing, and I'll go into that part as well. But yeah, there's tons of apps and stuff. You have Google Play for apps. You can even download a car launcher in the Google Play. This is AutoZen, which is like a car launcher. And you can set that to like home in your system, and instead of having this one, it'll launch to that. CarPlay as well, which I will also talk about a bit, since this is probably what people desire most. And settings for different things like Android settings, network, connected devices, Bluetooth, storage. So if you want to download more apps, it tells you how much apps you have. Car settings. This is just going to take you to your HVAC amplifier. If you want to change amplifier, certain settings like the camera dynamic guide, so it's like the lines when you're doing the backup camera, mine will be on. And then also the fixed guide will just be like the ones that they put on for you, so I would just have that off. I have mine off. Yep. And yeah, and then again, the factory settings. So for factory settings, let's say you want to change your canvas settings. The password for that is 8888. Then you would go to protocol, and it'll have your canvas settings. Mine are acting a bit strange right now, but this is not really a big deal because my canvas settings are kind of set for me. If you have any issues with your canvas settings, what you can do is you can go to Android settings, storage, files, canvas, and then host, and then click one of the ones you see, and it'll come up with the canvas APK. This one says original car. They have different names. What you're gonna do, you're gonna click continue, and you're gonna install it, and that should download this canvas, kind of like a re-download of it. If you do have issues, you don't know if there's an error or something, these live there, so you can just re-download them at any time without worry. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the settings part. Then I can talk a bit about CarPlay as well. So this is how CarPlay looks. functions really nicely, no issues. It's connected via Bluetooth, so just make sure you set up your Bluetooth. And yeah, no issues. So overall, this system, not very difficult to install. You know, takes a bit of time. I mean, not really a lot of time. I'd say maybe an hour or two. The most tedious part is probably taking this out and replacing the vents as well as the hazard, and making sure you have the correct driver for that. Other than that, it's pretty smooth sailing once you get to the electronics part, as long as you kind of have an understanding of like how these things go on. I mean, it's just kind of simple electronics, which, I mean, anyone can do it as long as they're just kind of aware of how these things sit inside, which is, I mean, we'll just watch a video. I think people have videos of this stuff as well. But yeah, all in all, this unit's very good. I definitely recommend it for a person who owns a car that may not have a great, you know, system where they can do things like CarPlay. As you can see with my unit, my device or my radio is pretty out of date, at least for the time. So an Android unit like this is very very worthwhile, I'd say. But yeah, you guys, if you need support, they also have a support number right there, an email, which usually will help you. I've sent an email about some things and they got back to me very quickly. So all in all, guys, this is worth it. The screen is beautiful, QLED, 10 inches. Obviously, there's some things like, I think, temperature controls. If you're really prickly about that type stuff, like not seeing your temperature change, like go up and down, that's just one thing with at least the Chrysler unit. I don't know how it is for others, but everything else functions completely fine. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Hope you guys found this informal. If you have questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll link the items in the description below. All right, thanks, bye.